because it's going to be so critical for us to be informed in this process. The other day I was visiting Polk County, and I went to our headquarters, and they were making some phone calls. And this one individual, he got a call from someone, and I'll share with you. I was born in Trinidad, West Indies. My parents migrated to this country, the land of great opportunity for a better way of life. Brought me up when I was 8 years old. Moved to New York and traveled about after joining the Navy, blah, 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 blah. I'm here in Florida. But I want to get onto the story with regards to this individual. So he's on the phone with a constituent, a voter. And the person said, well, she's an immigrant, and I'm not going to vote for Rick Scott because she's an immigrant. And the person goes, he was dumbfounded. He didn't know what to say, his response. So in his mind, he's thinking, I'm here, I am not legal, I'm not a citizen. And so it so happened, someone next to him overheard the conversation and saw his reaction and his response. And the person about choked him. Like, don't you understand? She's a naturalized citizen, spent 20 years in our military, started from an E-1 jet. Retires a Navy Lieutenant Commander Aviation Maintenance Officer. What did you get to that phone call? So he felt really, really badly, and he shared the information with me, and I said, you know what, as we get out there and we are encouraging people to support our candidacy, it's important for us to know what the candidates are like, who they are, so we can best sell the information to the constituents, to the voters, and most importantly, what we stand for. If you don't know it, then how do you expect them to get behind us to make it happen? Some of you may not know Rick Scott, but I didn't know him much either. Let me tell you, I was supporting Bill McCollum. I'll put it out there right now, all the press is, so I'm going to do it. Bill is my friend, has been for the past 11 years. He and my family are very close. He was the only candidate out there at the time. He asked for my support, and I gave it to him. And I'm a woman of my word. I'm not going to back down when things get tough. However, things happen. Primaries are won, primaries are lost. And I had met Rick Scott before he called me to interview for the job about a month prior to. And when I met him, I was impressed at that time. We had mutual friends, our background was very similar. And I go, I guess he's not all that bad, but I'm still supporting who I'm going to be supporting. But at the end of the day, when Rick called, I said, well, you know, hold it right there. I appreciate you wanting to talk with me, but I supported the other guy. And he goes, I know. But it doesn't matter. What I see in you, the work you have been able to accomplish, your hard work ethic, your ability to help me legislate through this process of the things that we need to do for the state of Florida, to bring the jobs here, to make sure that we have functionality in government, to reduce the expenditures in government, to bring efficiencies and accountability, with your knowledge base in understanding this process, and with your relationship that you have with the current members of the House and the Senate, you are the ideal candidate to work alongside me. Not for him to be my boss, but for me to work alongside him to get these things accomplished. It's just Saturday night or Friday night, whenever it was, all the days run together now anymore. and the other side, my counterpart, what is his name? It doesn't really matter. Yeah, him. You shouldn't even know his name, okay? The other guy. So he said, he stood up at the podium, we're at an NAACP banquet, and he's yelling and screaming. Of course, it's all the Republicans' fault why the Democrats can't get anything done, right? So you want to ask yourself, then what the heck are you doing? If you can't get anything done as a legislator, whether you're in the federal government or you're in the state government or local level, then you're an ineffective member of that body. The Republicans are doing this, and they're stopping us from doing that. Republicans are Republicans. And you know, when I got interviewed for this job, the person, Alex, that interviewed me, she says, would you have a problem in working for a female boss? And he says, well, I'm not going to have a problem working for a female boss. I take orders from my wife. Well, you shouldn't have said those words, because that opened up opportunity for me. So when I got up to speak, I said, I'm not going to have a boss. I said, this is going to be a partnership, because we're going to work arm in arm, side by side. No one is going to feel they're going to go to the governor and circumvent me, or come to me and circumvent him, because we have a plan together to turn this state around so that you can have the employability that you need, so that our future will have the employability that they need. to make sure that when people look at the state of Florida, they're not looking at it as a retirement place, or they're not looking at it as failed schools. They're not looking at it as just this destination to go through, and they're not going to stop here. The business climate is not going to come and look at Florida as one that is hostile to business growth and development. And we're not going to allow the federal government to come into our state and tell us what to do without giving them a darn hard time. Is that he's not from, like we say, in the Beltway. He doesn't have any ties to Tallahassee. He doesn't have any ties to the lobbyists. He doesn't have any ties to anything else. And trust me, I don't have it either because they're scared of me. Tell them that. So it's a good dynamic duo to move forward and do the things that's necessary to make the changes in Tallahassee, to reduce the size of government, to bring government efficiencies, to change some of the dynamics there so that we can truly realize and recognize the potential of the state of Florida. This is the 4th largest state in the union. There's no way that we should have the high level of unemployment that we continue to sustain time and time again. We should be coming out of this recession more than going down. To tie our school system to the workforce is the primary. Tomorrow we're going to be rolling out our education platform. And it's so critical that from our K through 12 on up, that we make sure we have a system of excellence so that when our students come out of our education system, they can find a job right here in the state that's credible, that's quality, that will not have a brain drain for our state, but the brains will stay here to make the state much vibrant with the economics as we move forward. That is so critical. Right here in Palm Beach County and Miami-Dade, we have a situation where our system is failing our students, yet still we're providing the most dollars to these school board districts. We have to follow the dollars. We have to make sure there's accountability. We have to make sure there's transparency. We have to make sure it's going to the student in that classroom so they can learn and compete on a global level. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot do it without your help. We need you to get out there and be our soldiers. We need you to get out and bring 10 more people to the polls with you. Early voting has started, not early voting, but the absentee ballots have been sent to homes. It's critical that we reach individuals and let them know what the candidates are, their background, what they stand for. We're putting our plan out there. 7 simple steps, 7 years, 700,000 jobs. The other side is not doing that. We are putting our reputation on the line to say this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to do it, this is a time frame that we're going to do it in. If we don't, we're accountable to you. You are our bosses. You are the ones that would hold our feet to the fire. The other side wouldn't give you a plan other than higher government, higher taxes, but they mask that by saying, we want to create jobs. You say, well, how the heck are you going to do it? We have to ask the question and pressure them on it. The other day, when the question was asked with regards to choice in schools, for our schools to bring about competition and bring about some system that will rise the level of standard, the other side said, I have to think about it. There's nothing to think about. When it comes to educating our students, parents should have a choice. We should have options. We should not be stuck in failed systems whatsoever. A lot of walking the streets, passing out our literature, giving people the correct information, and buying into the belief that we're true conservatives. And our way of bringing the economy around with the private sector jobs, removing the barriers to business growth and development, and looking forward and making Florida a better place for us, for our children and our grandchildren, is the only way to go. The Republican conservative message and our plan is the best that we have for the state of Florida. Your support and your hard work is going to get us over the finish line, and we will do our part to perform, to show you the measures that we will bring about to make this state the best in the nation. Thank you very much.